So I wanted to go over with the game engine what I've been working on trying to figure out textures. So I finally got a texture to display, and I'm basically just going to go over kind of what kind of changes I made. So first of all, last time I was able to get an image on the screen using OpenCV, and to do that I just made a CV matrix named image, and then I assigned to image the output of CV I'm read and read in just a image file. I think was the title of the last YouTube video. This just puts out an error if it doesn't load an image, and then you can show the image using an OpenCV function. But what I really wanted to do is I really wanted to be able to take the image that I opened and put it into a texture, so then I can display that texture anywhere that I want. So I've been spending a lot of time learning about textures and how exactly they work. I've been taking some time to learn more about the OpenCV matrix and how that is designed. And I played around with a few things and finally figured out something that worked. So I'm on the right path, but I still have a lot of work to do to really be able to use it well, to be able to create a texture and have it do exactly what I want. So let me just go through here. So the first thing I did, so first of all, I was going to create a whole new class, a whole new CPP file to try to use the OpenCV functions, but at the end of the day what I realized, it was just easier to go into the texture class, and all I did there was created another overload of this create function. And this time I said I'm going to create a texture, reference to a texture 2D. This reference is it's a pointer, and I'm gonna feed it a CV mat that I'm calling CV image. So then if you go into the texture CPP, see I just defined that overload and basically said we're just going to return an OpenGL texture. So let's go to the OpenGL. So that's OpenGL is the platform that we're using. So let me just go there, and here again we have another overload. This is an overload of our constructor. So there were already two overloads in the Hazel engine, and I just added a third. This OpenGL texture 2D constructor taking in a CV mat named CV image. And then let's look at the definition for that. And okay, so here we go. So this is the constructor again. This ended up being useless. I think I can delete that. But basically what I figured out is that for M width and M height, I can get that information out of our image by using the calls function and the rows function, which are kind of parameters off of the CV mat image. So it's one of the things that one of the pieces of information that you can directly get out of the image. Then I used another one of those. I used this CV image dot channels. So the dot channels here is a function, and that's going to return the number of channels in the image. And I said if it's 4, then these are our formats, and if it's 3, these are our formats. This is exactly what was done in the Hazel engine. I just added the CV image dot channels to these so that it will read that from the image. And then I went in and in the GL texture sub image 2D function, I just added CV image dot data, and that is a pointer to the actual image data, so that will get our image assigned to the texture. So that's basically how we can go in and get the image out of the information from the image, and then pass it to the texture object. And then finally we go into the editor layer, and in the editor layer there are a few things that I needed to do. So first on attach, I created a new texture. I created a CV matte image, called that image CV. Assigned that image with CVIM read, and let me see. And then here, our CV source image texture, I created a texture 2D with our image. So that's using the overload that I wrote in the texture 2D class to make a texture out of this image that we've just pulled in using OpenCV read. So on attach we create the texture, and then let me see, down here in our update function we do some drawing, and I just passed in our new texture, CV source image texture, to a couple of objects that are being drawn. So those get drawn with that texture, and then down here in the I'm GUI layer, so up in the on update, all of that gets dumped into a frame buffer, and then in our IM GUI layer we call IM GUI image, and we pass in our frame buffer, and that displays the entire drawing to the screen in a particular window. So playground, there we go. Okay, so now you can see we have this rotating grid of something or other, and this is our texture here. It is backwards and has some issues, but oh, I see. Okay, weird. I undocked it there. I was like, what did I do? Okay, so I undocked it, but there we go. That is, has that been displaying the whole time? Okay. All right, that got pretty chaotic. I'll probably have to do some cutting there. But this is what Brain Playground is now looking like now that we've changed up the textures there. So the important thing is here we have pulled in our texture using we have pulled in our image using OpenCV, and then we have used our current rendering pipeline to create a texture and then display that texture. So at some point I probably really should go through the rendering engine, even though there's a lot of videos on there. You know, of course this is based off of the Hazel series, so there's an absolute ton of information on rendering pipelines. Maybe it would be nice to have kind of a little bit more of a like bird's eye view, so that you can kind of think about all of the parts and how they work together, because I think a lot of the tutorials tend to, you know, they're building it a piece at a time, and it can be kind of hard to think about how all of those pieces integrate together to make the rendering work. It's definitely something I've spent a lot of time trying to understand and still don't fully. So I'll definitely be diving more into that in the future.